So I tested the Honda production racer last year in Valencia. Just did a few laps because I had a broken wrist, still from Australia with the Moto2. So we just made some laps there, which was pretty good, and we planned to do 10 laps. We ended up doing 40 because I wanted to ride more the bike. And then we didn't really get to test the bike properly until Sepang 1, which is where we started to feel more about the bike, and actually was not bad at the beginning. I mean, felt enough power, but the more I rode it, the more I realized I was losing a little bit more power on some of the factory bikes. But the overall feeling was not bad. The bike suits me to have more power, and I enjoy to ride this bike. Power difference between Moto2 and MotoGP is, from my side, I think it's quite a big difference. I mean, from 125 to Moto2, it wasn't really that much, but even still now, I feel the bike is fast. You always have to hold on a lot out of the corners. You don't really have much time to relax. And the power is just endless, it's not like, okay, you have a lot of bottom power, then it levels out. It's just the same power, it's just constantly pushing. And it's quite a nice feeling because you really feel like you're fighting with the bike. And the good thing with having more power is you can control it more with the slides and things like that, which is good for me. So braking differences, it's quite a big difference for me because not only is it from the steel disc of Moto2, you have the carbon disc in MotoGP, but also I changed from the Brembo in Moto2 and now I'm running this in MotoGP. So I had a lot to learn, and my feeling in the beginning wasn't so good, but actually Nissan worked really well and I have a good feeling now. And the difference is, with the carbon brakes, you really have to get the temperature there. It's not just, okay, you go out and you don't have no brakes in turn one. It's more, to get the brake in a really high performance level, you need to get the temperature level in the correct way, which is one of the hardest things I found about the new carbon brakes. Electronic wise, MotoGP is all new to me because in Moto2 we had 0 electronics, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I mean, the only trouble I got is the electronic system we got with the bike we have. The team never used this one. I've also never used it, so the team is learning, I'm learning that we don't really have a base setting, so I didn't really know where I was going right or wrong, but actually in the end wasn't too bad. The good thing with the electronics is, like, I don't know, like a kid in a toy shop, it's just never endless things what you want. You can change the engine brake in every corner, but also in different parts of the corner. Power delivery, when you're braking you can have the throttle making the back shifts for you. So much things you can do, but also these things are time consuming, so in testing you're really working to find a good base setting for all the tracks around. Yeah, we was with Dunlop tyres last year in Moto2 and now Bridgestone in MotoGP. My biggest problem last year was just the front tyre with Dunlop was a little bit soft for me, a lot of movement. But the Bridgestone is really a strong construction, which I think for me as a bigger rider is better. And the tyres work really well. I expected the first few laps to be a little bit slippery, but it's not as bad as I thought. Also with Bridgestone, they're working really hard to always develop the tyre, which is good. And the feeling is not really big difference. Just with the Bridgestone, you don't have so much more feeling if the front goes. But I mean, you have more contact feeling, it's not like, okay, it starts to move a little bit, if it goes, it goes. There's no real notice beforehand. But in general, for me, the tyres wasn't a big thing to learn. So due to the rules with the open class, which we are in with the production racer, we have an option of a soft tyre from Bridgestone. This tyre for us gives us more grip, more edge grip, so we have a little advantage. Okay, we have less power. For me, I can use it in a race distance. I did race simulation in Qatar with it and was not bad. Some riders, I've heard that they can't use it because they're too aggressive, but anyway, with the hard tyre they're not so bad. So in qualifying and stuff like that, the soft tyre can give us an advantage. It's just in some tracks where we stress the rear tyre a lot, maybe we can't use it, so we have to take advantage of the soft tyre when we have it. So FP1, my first official practice with the MotoGP, didn't really go how we expected. I mean, we tested here last week and was good. and I went into the first corner and I closed the throttle and the bike ran on for like 2 meters. Something didn't really feel right, and I came in, they tried to fix the problem, and we had another electronic system in the bike which Honda had changed a little bit, and the problem was when I was closing the throttle, the butterfly was still open for some time, which isn't really good at an end of the straight. When normally you close the throttle, as you close you go for the brakes, there's no real time for a delay like that. So I lost a little bit of confidence with that. They were trying to fix it. They wasn't sure what the problem was at the time. So yesterday night Honda was checking over, the team was checking over the bike to check everything was right. And you know, like I said, with the electronics, it's such a difficult system to try and sort out. Just some little things, you know, can make such a big difference. I mean, when I mean the throttle's closing a little bit later, I'm not talking 1 second, I'm talking maybe, you know, 2/100ths of a second, and that's the difference that we need to find with the electronic. Is such a fine, complex system that just the little things can make a big difference. So, you know, I'm hoping today, and I'm quite confident today, that them guys have found the problem and we can crack down and sort of do what we came here to do. Have you signed up for BikeSocial yet? If not, why not?